So last time when we were not there, we did this. The man
who knew too much.
Yeah, the man who knew too much. And today completed. Yeah, we read the whole thing and we were discussing the question answers. Do you want to read the lesson once? Have you read this lesson?
Yeah, we did.
Do you want to read the lesson quickly before doing the question answers? That would go for well then.
What?
Okay. I meant private college at the. No, is it private or is it private?
Private.
Private.
Because our teacher told that it's private college.
1 minute.
It's not private. I've never heard anyone say it like that.
No, because it's a, what do you say?
I've never heard anyone say private.
Me neither, but then because it's
In our school,
soldier without rank, is that when you use that word? Is it?
No, even I've seen some
Movies?
movies about soldiers and stuff. They always say private one.
because my friends' class teacher they say private college, but our teacher says it.
Maybe our teacher got it wrong somehow. It's private only.
Yeah, means the lowest rank in the army.
Private soldier.
Yeah, it's private.
Private soldiers.
I
No, you should. It's always good to check. You know, sometimes
It's good to learn.
for years we pronounce things wrongly. So, no, not private. Sure.
You probably from your teacher.
At first, my private college at the training depot, a man is liable to acquire in his first week of army life, together with his uniform, rifle, and equipment. That is a name,
A nickname.
a nickname. Anyone who saw a private quilt, blanky, stooping, frowning through horn-rimmed spectacles, understood why he was known as a professor. Those who had any doubts on the subject lost them after 5 minutes conversation with him.
Yes. You
When
can.
our teachers teaching this chapter using a PPT, so she was showing us how the ordinary classes look. So
Yeah.
she went to her slide in the beauty. It's a horse rimmed class.
Last time we saw horn-rim glasses, if you
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, the black thick glasses.
I remember the first lesson we had in muscularity. We took an attentive circle while a sergeant, a man as dark and sunbright as raisins, wearing Northwest Frontier ribbons, described the mechanism of a service rifle.
The muzzle velocity or speed at which the bullet leaves the rifle, he told us, is well over 2000 feet per second.
A voice interpreter. 2,440 feet per second. It was the professor.
That's right, the surgeon said without enthusiasm and went on lecturing. When he had finished, he asked us questions and perhaps in a hope of revenge. He turned with his questions again and again to the professor. The only result was to enhance the professor's glory. Technical definitions, the parts of a rifle, its use and care, he had them all by heart.
So this professor, he earned this name well because he knew everything. He had
He read a
beforehand.
lot.
Yeah, he read a lot and he prepared himself beforehand. Like if he knows tomorrow is going to be a particular lesson, he probably would read about it the previous night. So this professor was angry because
If
he
you
had.
ever wanted to know anything about anything, we'll just go and ask the professor.
So he said this time the professor was a little upset that he tried to correct him. And therefore he kept on throwing all the questions to him.
The sergeant was upset.
The sergeant was upset
And it just backfired.
because
He
the
knew everything.
Private Quelch knew everything.
The sergeant asked, "Have you had any training before?" The professor answered with a phrase that was to become familiar to all of us. "No, sir. It's all a matter of intelligent reading."
That was our introduction to him. We soon learned more about him. He saw to that.
He saw to that we learn more about him.
He made sure.
He made sure everybody knows that he's good.
He saw to that. He meant to get on, he told us. He had the brains. He was sure to get a commission before long. As a first step, he meant to get a strike.
What does this mean? He meant to get on.
What?
He meant to get on. What does that mean?
I'm sorry. He meant to get on.
Yeah. Second time.
Okay. He meant to get on. He told us. That means he means business. He means to get on whatever he wants.
Okay. In pursuit of his ambition, he worked hard. We had to give him credit for that. He bought training manuals and stayed up later nights reading them. He badgered the instructors with questions. He drilled with enthusiasm, and en route marches, he was not only miraculously tireless, but he infuriated us all with his horrible hardness. Whatever the song, chaps, is not greeted politely at the end of 30 minutes. His salute at the pay table was a model to behold. When officers were in sight, he would swing his skinny arms and march to the canteen like a guardsman.
This para always makes me laugh. There's always one person like this in the class who'll try to be smart and whose work will be always complete. And she's the first one to go and show the book to the teacher and ready with all the answers.
She's always the person who reminds the teacher to
check the books,
notebook, or check the
homework. So the same way he was. He would drill with enthusiasm, and not only that, after marching that 30 miles.
Not only was he tireless, he was
also very enthusiastic.
Yeah.
So after
it's
that,
like it sounds like he was just having fun. Like what about a song? Yeah. So like everyone else is just really out of breath.
And here he also wanted to sing. Oh, so everybody used
After
to
the end of 30 minutes.
Yes.
And day in and day out, he lectured to us in his droning, remorseless voice on every aspect of human knowledge. At first, we had a certain respect for him, but soon we lived in terror of his approach. We tried to hit back at him with clumsy sarcasms and practical jokes. The professor
Scarcely noticed.
scarcely noticed. He was too busy working for his tribe.
So you have though that one, very prim and proper one in the class, and then children will keep making fun of him. Hey, tu chup hai, hey, you shut up, you don't talk, you don't ask too many questions. They keep telling him that.
Whenever someone knows too much about something compared to everyone else just
Yes.
gets annoyed and tells.
Exactly. So he was least bothered about all this. Though others did that, he was least bothered because
Like,
he
hardly
had his
noticed.
targets. I never noticed because he knew he wanted to work for his tribe. He wanted to achieve. Hey, you had school today? No, na?
I'm pretty sure it was. Today was they announced
Red
red
alert.
alert. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
red alert.
all schools and colleges are closed.
You had online. Last time also you had online, no? Last week? Last week, oh, you didn't have online last week?
We just had a holiday.
Oh, 2 days of holiday. Okay.
We also got 2 days of holiday last week until orange alert.
Yeah.
Oh, our school never fails to give us the news that it is a holiday until the very last minute. Like last week on Friday, we got the news that it was going to be a holiday at
Exactly.
7:23 in the morning.
Oh my God.
7:23 in the morning.
We got in the night only like at 11 o'clock and we were
Like
watching
people
movie.
leave their house at like 7:30 or 7:25. We got the notice that there was no school at 7:23 in the morning. Like few
And
buses
also-
had even left and a few people had already gone to the school.
So probably the people in your school did not see the notice.
Yeah.
Did not see the school.
And today
Municipal
was-
corporation sends a circular.
Today also they gave it at like 6:50 in the morning today. That day.
Really?
But like today it wasn't as much as a follow because we all expected there's not gonna be school. But last week some people had literally went to school to find out there was.
That's sad.
On Thursday we had a holiday and we got the message on Wednesday on 11 o'clock I guess and we were watching movie.
Luckily you saw it.
Yeah.
Saw the message. Sometimes people don't see the
It was a
message.
horror movie and the sound of the SMS was rising so I had to say.
Okay. And day in and where is it? Okay. Working for his tribe. Each time one of us made. Whose turn to read?
Oh, yeah. Each time one of us made a mistake, the professor would publicly correct it. Whenever one of us shone, the professor outshone him. When, after a hard morning's work of cleaning our heart, we listened in silence to the orderly officer's praise, the professor would break out with a ringing, beautifully beaming, "Thank you, sir." And how superior, how condescending he was. It was always, "Let me show you, fellow," or "No, you ruined your rifle that way, old man."
We used to pride ourselves on aircraft recognition. Once, out for a walk, we heard the drone of a plane flying high overhead. None of us could even see it in the glare of the sun. Without even a glance upward, the professor announced that, of course, is a North American hardware trainer. It can be unmistakably identified by the harsh engine note due to the high speed of the high-tech speed of the airspeed.
What could a gang of louts like us do with a man like that?
What's the drone of a plane?
Drone of a plane is the what do you say? Drone is called the drone of a plane. Sound of a plane, actually. The sound of that whirling, na?
Of the propeller.
Yes,
Oh, what is it called? It's called propeller, right?
propeller. Drone of a plane is an unmanned aerial vehicle, commonly known as a drone, is an aircraft without any human pilot, crew, or passenger on board.
And I don't think that's what it means. Yeah, I know what a drone is.
Yeah, drone is when they stand down and play.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Have you seen like the drones that they used to shoot?
Yeah.
In the
But I don't think that's what it means here.
That's
Drone of a plane.
That's a plane. That's a drone of a plane.
That's okay. But if it does search drone, something different.
Different will come, but this is drone of a plane. So this is an unmanned plane.
Okay.
Unmanned aerial vehicle.
Okay. None of us will ever forget the drowsy summer afternoon, which was a turning point in the professor's life.
We were sprawling contentedly on the warm grass while Corporal Turnbull was taking a lesson on the handle.
Grenade. Corporal Turnbull was a young man, but he was not a man to be
Trifled with.
trifled with. He had come back from
Dunkirk.
Dunkirk with all his equipment correct and accounted for, and his kitten in his pocket. He was our hero, and we used to tell each other that he was so tough that you could hammer his nails into him
Without him noticing it.
Yeah.
So he was this war hero who had come back with glorious
Actually-
history, and he was very influential. He knew all the right people.
In this line it says, last line it says, without, you could drill a hammer, you could
Into him.
hammer nails into him without his noticing. It should be him noticing it, right?
Without him noticing it.
Yeah, it says his noticing it.
But maybe that's a printing error.
It should be him.
Him noticing it. The outside of a grenade, as you can see, Corporal Turnbull was saying, is divided up into a large number of fragments to assist segmentation.
44.
What's that? The corporal looked over his shoulder.
44 segments, the professor gave it.
The corporal said nothing, but his brow tightened. He opened his mouth to resume.
It's brow, right?
Yeah, bravo.
The professor speaking again. Shouldn't you have started off with the 5 characteristics of the grenade? Our instructor at the other camp always used to do that, you know.
In the silence that followed, a dark flush stained the tan of the corporal's face. Here, he said at last, you give this lecture. As if afraid to say any more, he tossed the grenade to the professor. Quite
Unabashed.
Private Welch climbed to his feet and, with the attitude of a man coming into his bird's eye, gave us an unexpected lecture on the
Unexceptionable.
Unexceptionable. Unexceptionable means?
It means not, no, it means perfect.
Perfect.
It means
Yes.
perfect. It's a very strange word. Huh?
Yes, last time we looked the
Yeah.
research for the meaning. Yeah. Unexceptionable is perfect.
Hmm.
You initially thought it said unexceptional, remember?
Yes. So therefore I immediately looked for the meaning. As I said, can't be very confident about every word.
Yeah.
The squad listened in a crowd. Sorry, the squad listened in a cold, horrified kind of silence. Cowed, horrified kind of silence. Corporal Turnbull stood and watched, impassive except for a certain intentness of gaze. When the lecture was finished, he said, "Thank you, Private Welch. Fall in line with the others now." He did not speak again until we had fallen in and were waiting to be dismissed. He then addressed us.
As some of you may have heard, he began deliberately. The platoon officer has asked me to nominate one of you for. He paused and looked lingeringly up and down the ranks as if seeking final confirmation of decision.
And what does platoon officer mean?
Platoon, see there are divisions. A smaller one, I'm not sure, but then platoon would be 3-4 groups together become a platoon. You know, soldiers have. Do you have scouts and guides?
Yeah.
So if you have scouts and guides, you'll know each one of you have a patrol.
Patrol?
You have scouts and guides, right?
Patrol. P-A-T-R-O-L.
I don't have.
Okay.
In our
That-
school, my friends are like participating.
Okay, it's not compulsory for you. So that means that they are divided into different groups. Each group has a name, and then that some 3 or 4 of them together form one platinum.
What
So
does count mean?
cowed means scared,
Subdued.
subdued, scared. Yeah.
So this was the great moment. Most of us could not help glancing at Private Welch, who stood rigidly to pay attention and stared straight in front of him with an expression of self-conscious innocence.
Okay. You want to ask something?
No. Not learner. For permanent cookhouse duties, I have decided that Private Welch is just the man for the job.
Of course, it was a joke for days afterwards, a joke and joy to all of us.
I remember, though,
My friend Tor and I were talking about it a few days later. We were returning from the canteen to our own home.
through the open door, we could see the 3 cooks standing against the wall as if at bay, and from within came the monotonous beat of a familiar voice.
Jelly, I must protest against this abominably unscientific and unhygienic method of peeling potatoes. I need to only draw your attention to the sheer waste of vitamin values.
We fled.
Okay. So last time we completed this, no? The professor knew too much. How did he prove himself? Fill in the space with suitable examples from the story.
No, we didn't do this.
We didn't do this. We decided to come back to that later.
No, we didn't. Like, you remember this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we didn't do this. Like
Okay. We decided we'll do the objectives first. And
Yeah, the objective is the first one. Remember, like we thought it was his knowledge, but
No, it is sermonizing.
Yeah,
It's sermonizing. Yeah?
No,
His
it's
habit of-
appearance.
what?
Private Welch was nicknamed professor because of
His appearance. It's
um,
given, no? He
he was thin and
he wear haunted glasses.
but he also had this habit of
We
sermonizing.
didn't,
You
we didn't look up the habit of sermon dust class.
know? Yeah, I did. In your school, it's they say his appearance. What did your teacher say? Because his appearance is also right.
I don't remember if it is. No,
Wow.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and his habit of sermonizing is also right. He did have habit of giving
Well, I
lectures,
think-
no, and information to everyone. But here the
I
first
think
paragraph,
she has a point here. Like in the
Yeah.
first paragraph.
but in paragraph it does say that
Anyone who saw Private Welch blankly stooping from
Yeah.
Mr. Hornby spectacles understood why he was known as the purpose. So maybe she's right. It could be his appearance.
his appearance.
We originally thought it was his knowledge.
Then I checked and it was his habit of sermonizing. Therefore, I'm saying, what are they accepting in your school?
I'll check with my.
Check with your teacher because his appearance is also a correct one according to the first paragraph. One could hammer nails. That is
He was a
Strong and sturdy man.
Isn't sermon a word? S-E-R-M-O-N.
sermon is a word.
Yeah, what does it mean?
That means giving lecture.
Okay.
Sermon is the priest gives a sermon.
Okay, that's why it's called sermon. I think.
Yeah.
Like,
The author and his friend Trover fled from the scene as they could not stand Private Welch exhibiting his knowledge. The main reason that Professor remained unflinched despite the retaliation of his batchmates was due to the fact that he was so involved in excelling that he barely noticed sarcastic comments.
I think the first thing, his desire to impress people overruled the humiliation he experienced No, he didn't experience, he gave others humiliation.
Overruled the humiliation he experienced each time.
No, it's not correct.
what?
No, I think he was so involved in excelling.
He used to humiliate others. No,
And others also used to try and humiliate him. But he was so involved in excelling that he barely noticed sarcastic comments. Choose the expression that uses the same literary device as used in the line. He was so tough that he could hammer nails into him without him noticing it. This is exaggeration.
Is his noticing it also acceptable? Because given in the tense. Because
Without his noticing it.
normally we will say him, no, without
Is
him.
this correct? My mom made enough food
Yes,
to feed
yes,
us
yes. Only last night. Yes, that is exaggeration.
This is also lightning dance across the sky like a fairy.
That is simile. Comparison.
Okay, like.
Without even, okay, choose the option that best describes the traits of the professor in the given extract. Knowledge, flamboyance, awareness. 2, 3, 4. The author refers to himself and his peers as louts too. Hey, have we done this?
Yeah, no, we reached the last, like the question, answer following first. Last class.
Okay. Draw attention
To accept the display of undisciplined behavior.
Accept the display of undisciplined.
Which question?
Second one. Or not bring out the contrast with the professor?
Yeah, it's we didn't bring out the
Contrast with the
That's
professor.
what we got answer.
No, but they were. Why did he say this? I mean, use this word to.
Last time we agreed it was bring out the contrast with the professor. Also sentence. What could a gang of louds do with a man like that? Yeah, basically they're calling the rest of them louds in comparison with a man like that. So they're comparing to the professor, like the professor, like he basically knew everything. Like what could a gang of louds do with a man? So
The author refers to himself and his peers as louts to accept the display of undisciplined behavior. He refers to himself and his peers as louts.
how does that accept the display of undisciplined behavior? It's nothing like that in the chapter.
But the meaning of louts means undisciplined behavior. That is also true.
Yeah, but like there's nothing that like that in the chapter. They don't mention that any of them are undisciplined.
Check.
Where you checked?
What?
Yeah, here it says accept the display of undisciplined behavior.
Yes.
But here he says that louds because he also wants to say how bring out the contrast. These answers are very close actually.
So,
Accept the display of undisciplined behavior. We'll stick to that. What is generally acceptable. See, he calls themselves louds because he wants to say that professor was a person who was prim and proper.
yeah.
And they were just a group of young boys who were so undisciplined. He basically uses that word.
I guess it is correct, the first one.
The first one is also correct. Also, and the last one is also because he wants to at the same time he
But
also.
in here, they can bring out the contrast with the professor.
Yeah.
They are comparing themselves with
Yeah.
the professor. So it
I found the NCERT solution to the questions, but these two questions are not given.
Whatever I found in that, the fourth one is given as correct. These answers, both the answers are correct actually, frankly. It also brings out the contrast with professor. It also tells us that they were undisciplined. When it comes to 9, you do what your teacher in the school accepts. Because she'll be correcting your papers and she'll be giving you marks.
And the chair is very bad.
So, Does your teacher tell you the fourth one is the answer?
And not even one. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. I don't know. In context with the paragraph, I thought it was the first one. But in the context of the paragraph, there's nothing about undisciplined behavior except for the one word.
Actually,
So I think the first one.
first one is right, but then the general answer given here is the fourth one.
I will.
I'll ask my teacher.
Yes, please. Because I would give the first one as right, but then check see what your teacher gives. It's
Louds means undisciplined.
undisciplined. Choose a statement that is not true about the depiction of the scene described in the above lines.
In the silence that followed, a dark flush stayed at the tan of Cotton's face. Here he said at last, "You give this lecture." As if afraid to say any more, he tossed the way to the professor, while and embarrassed.
The first three statements are true. The
True,
fourth one is
which
not.
was not
So
able
he-
to impress the Angul with his vast
Yeah.
knowledge. He did not.
He did the opposite of impressive. He was very, unamused and unimpressed.
Yes. The silence that follows Quelch's remarks shows that the entire batch did not
No what to react.
know how to react. The fact that Quelch delivered the lecture when asked to do so shows that he,
Came to take the hint.
that Angul felt insulted.
Oftentimes when like a teacher is interrupted by a student like, why don't you come?
You're not called to teach there. You're told to shut up and listen to me. That's
So I came to just
Yeah.
keep quiet and let me teach. But he came to take the hint. He was quite naive, I could say.
yeah, he was. We were writing these answers. And there are many.
Have you thought of another nickname for private college?
Google, somebody said it while I was teaching.
Google.
Because whatever you ask, they have the answer. So he had the answers. I said Google, know it all. So, can you think of anything else? A nickname for professor?
Insufferable.
Insufferable. Okay.
Because like this is like the one like really annoying person in the class who knows everything, and like everyone else never really likes him. I think that's kind of perfect. This
Yeah.
way to describe him.
Attention seeker.
Attention seeker. Yes. But since you can stick to Google and know it all, maybe if ever this question comes,
I think last time I said star because he always outshone everyone.
outshone everyone. But star is usually never used in a negative context. Yeah. So he's a star. So we say that when somebody.
But like he was working quite hard and
Yes.
so
He
people
did.
say he was a star. I think we did like first 4 questions.
Will you quickly tell her the answers? What is the nickname?
Nickname is like I haven't written it.
Professor. What is the nickname?
What is the nickname?
Nickname is something we call a person.
Instead of his own
Original.
name. That's right.
Private equals look like a professor and the author first made him with the training depot what? Yeah, it's basically
The physical teachers.
first paragraph is going to corporate.
So
Areas of private equals frankly
yeah,
speaking,
one minute. Let's discuss it with her. So what will be the answer?
Private Wells looked like a professor, but the author first met him at the training bar.
Yes.
Is the author a surgeon?
What?
No.
The author?
Author was not a sergeant. He was a fellow private that time.
It's not even what the
Yeah. The author did serve in army during Second World War.
Okay, here do we have to write his features?
Yes.
The author is
Yes. Appearance.
the
So you
author
can.
is effectively third person. You don't know who he is.
Okay.
So you will say that.
When he was stooping.
Yeah, he was a lanky, stooping person.
He wearing a modern
Yes, he had a frown on his face and wore horn-rimmed spectacles.
It must be him.
How come I don't have this picture?
No, it's page 31.
Okay. That's what I was
But like,
wondering.
isn't this description of the professor of a professor lanky stupid fun? Isn't NCRT insulting professor?
It's the same man. If we
Similar man, you can say. But we don't know whether he was lanky and stooping. Lanky is thin,
But isn't
tall.
NCRT like taking a jab at professors? They're very strange.
The author is.
So the answer to why did he look at a professor being that?
If you see the professor degree is given. Professor does not necessarily mean only a teacher who teaches. To get that degree, title as a professor, one has to be a PhD. PhD and need to have some papers published. So the one who studies so much, no, they do look like that. Thin, tall, lanky people with horn-rimmed. You need
what is horn?
horn-rimmed is the thick black.
Amitabh Bachchan lips.
These are horn-rimmed.
Okay.
What which page now?
Page 31.
Oh.
Last time we saw what horn-rimmed look like. Those black frames, typical thick black frames.
They're broad enough, right?
Yeah.
What does
What
the dark
does-
sunlight appearance of surgeon
Suggest about him. What does that tell us about him?
What?
Dark sunrise appearance.
It was
we
a
served-
surgeon. No.
I think we discussed it after that. He served
In the army for a long time.
long
He must have
time
worked in the
in under the scorching
severe conditions under scorching
sunlight
sun,
and
and
he was very loyal to the no. He was very hardworking.
hard work. Okay. Why don't you
He
write
was
down
a
the
tough nut to
points?
crack.
Yes. Why don't you write down the answers? Hello, write the points. At least the points. Do you write all the answers in the notebook? In school notebooks? Okay. Is it compulsory for you to write all the answers in the school notebook?
No,
Yeah, they-
not these.
Not
She
these.
gives her.
They make us write the answers in the school.
Their own answers.
Yeah, they give us the answer. Our school literally gives us all the notes. After chapter is done, they just send the notes in MCP and get us to write at home. They don't give any notes in the classes. They just
Teacher
send,
doesn't discuss
they
that.
send the notes. No, they discuss the
Our
chapter.
teacher even doesn't discuss.
They-
She
they
just
send the
tells
chapter.
her questions and her answer.
Like basically, once the chapter is done in class, like the chapter is done explaining, they just send the all the notes in MCP, like all the answers of the back questions, and just write it down.
Isn't that easy for you? But then, without discussing, if you have doubt, how do you clear it?
I guess the teachers are very confident of the explanation.
Yeah.
मैंने सिखाया मतलब तुमको आना ही चाहिए. That way. I have taught, so you must better understand everything.
The only problem with this system is that we end up having too much work to write at home, and like
I prefer
they,
doing most of the
they,
work
they
in
give
the school.
they give us like at least teachers give us a chapter to write right before the weekend. So like we have to spend the whole weekend writing notes and
Does that work the same way in your school too? No. Okay.
So what are the points?
So the sergeant was dark and looked wrinkled. You can see
He was down.
I wrote this down
that,
last
yes, he
time, but I didn't-
spent long he spent long years of service in the army. You can just write the points if you want. Long years of service in the army.
He spent long years of service.
He
Spent
He
spent
spent long
all
years.
his life. He spent all his life, you can say. He spent
Service in the army.
years
He spent years service in the
Years.
army.
in the service in the army.
No.
He spent years servicing the army? No.
Because you said he spent.
In
What
the
did you initially say?
What did I say?
He spent years in the service for the army.
Or in serving the army, right?
Yeah, serving.
Serving the
Yeah,
army.
serving.
Sorry.
I meant to say serving.
Serving
Just
the-
servicing by mistake. It's a
Serving
different
the
word.
army. Long years serving the army. He probably
There's a difference
Work.
between serving and servicing.
in
He spent
long years serving the army. Many years serving the army. And he probably worked in difficult conditions under scorching heat. And therefore, this he's called, he looked like sun-dried.
It suggests that. Oh yeah. But what is the difference between servicing and serving?
You leave your car for servicing and you serve for something. Repairing is servicing and working for something is serving. How was private
But doesn't
questions
don't they
knowledge?
both end up meaning providing service?
You have to serve in the food.
Yeah, but like don't both words end up in meaning to give someone service or give something service. So like I think it's just a difference in the usage, not in the meaning.
There are two meanings by this word.
Servicing.
I think the difference is mainly in the
Perform
usage.
routine maintenance and repair work on vehicle, that is servicing. Serving. Serving is, serving has many. Helping, quantity, serving, there are many, there are a lot of meaning. Because serving means a quantity of food
Yeah, oftentimes like you just
and you serve in the country. It also means serving has 2-3 different meanings.
oftentimes you're just naturally using words in a sentence and someone asks you what a certain word means and you realize, wait a second, it's really difficult to explain even though I use it.
You know the
it's so
meaning, but
natural.
then when you ask the exact meaning, yes, it is.
And then you're like,
Servicing and serving. Okay. How was private questions knowledge
But look at
exposed
that.
even further as sergeant's class went
Oh,
on?
look at that. Another one.
Yes. A smiley. Two smileys.
Where?
Look at that. I just noticed that.
Oh. And
Interesting.
critical and scientific.
I don't think they would do that.
Tell me the next answer.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Private questions knowledge exposed even further as the sergeant's class went on.
Yeah,
In the
basically-
sergeant's.
In search for events, the sergeant targeted all of his questions towards the private, but this backfired and only allowed and only made the professor's glory or only increased the professor's glory
How? Why?
because he was
Because
able to.
he was continuously
Yes.
in the sergeant.
No, because he could answer all the questions put forth to him by
I
the
think
sergeant.
this is not about the.
See, he exposed even further, knowledge exposed because when sergeant kept on asking As a
Yeah,
revenge,
he wasn't interrupted.
as a revenge, Sergeant kept posting questions to or asking questions to the private. Okay.
You might be confused with the.
But the private could answer every question put forth to him, and thus quench his knowledge, exposed even further as the sergeant's class went on.
Siddhi, it was the corporal who was consciously interrupting. You mixed it up.
Okay.
Not it was the sergeant.
This is the first paragraph.
But when like interrupted sergeant,
Yeah, he interrupted sergeant. He
But
corrected him. He corrected
He
him.
did once. He wasn't continuously interrupting. That was the corporal.
He corrected him, and
What's the difference between corporal and sergeant? Like, what does corporal mean?
sergeant. There are different grades, no? Different
Yeah.
grades. So sergeant, इसके ऊपर corporal.
corporation.
What did professor mean by intelligent reading?
Reading by heart.
Reading by heart? Only reading by heart? To read every detail carefully
Yeah.
and
And to
learn, yes, and even to learn whatever you have read or to memorize whatever you have read. What were the professor's ambitions in the army?
He wanted to get a stripe
And
and a commission.
that's it.
Yes.
Wanted to
In private
get his
courses.
commission in the army, and he wanted to be the first one to get the stripe.
What's the stipend?
When you
It is a band, no?
yeah, when you do some commendable service or act, that's when a stripe is given.
Yeah.
The rank
Yeah,
of soldier.
I've seen soldiers wearing stripes.
Yeah.
They are here.
I think it depends. I think army men wear it here. They have stars.
Yeah.
And sorry, Navy people have stars here. Navy and army people have stripes here.
Yeah, I'm pretty much scared.
Yeah, the colorful one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would a private coach's day-to-day practices take him closer towards his goal? How can you make out?
No, he did it. We can make this out because
If private coach's day-to-day practices take him closer towards his goal,
no.
how you make it out?
Isn't
Okay.
it yes, because he was specifically working towards his goal and he wasn't even paying attention to other criticisms because he was too busy working for his
No,
country.
but he did
And he
it.
was working very hard and people even took note of that and gave him the credit for
But
that. So
It did,
I would say yes.
but he did not take him
Yeah.
towards his goal finally.
But no, the question is, did it take him closer towards
Towards
his
his goal.
goal? Yeah,
His
closer
goal
towards
was
his goal. So I would say yes.
His goal
was to get
the
commission.
stripe.
Yeah, and the
But
stripe.
he
Did he
didn't.
manage to impress the seniors? He lacked this. What do you say?
See, it isn't talking about that specific interaction with the corporal. It's talking
It
about
is
his day-to-day
every time.
practice.
Every time. See, it is day-to-day practices. We don't know whether it took him towards his goal because when you're in the army, it's not just. They always say when you're playing a sport, and if you're not playing an individual sport, it's a group activity. So it has to be. It's always the group and how well you work with the group that
But
matters.
the other one did appreciate and acknowledge how hard he was working for his friend.
Yes, but then that was never a group activity. If you are not liked and if you fail to gel with the group, in the combat, it is very important that you create that bond with each other. Only then that your partner will jump over you to shield you. No, what I'm trying to say is you need to work in a group. He did not achieve his final goal. He irritated his professors.
He didn't achieve his final goal, but what he was doing, he was working closer towards that goal. Yeah, that's what he was.
But he interrupted his professors, lecturers, professors. He corrected them constantly. He irritated them. He failed to understand that the others
I,
were
I,
sarcastic.
I believe the
The
way
team was
it is.
sarcastic,
I
and
believe the first sergeant was actually impressed. So like after the lecture was done, he
the
was like,
first sergeant was also not
no,
impressed.
after he was done with the lecture, he said, "Have you had any training before?" So he was impressed. How do you know so much? He asked him, "Have you had any training
He
before?"
was
Not
impressed.
Impressed. He
He
just
was, yeah.
okay. He acknowledged that he knows a lot. There's a difference. He was not impressed.
And he was
So
just
he-
asking, how do you know such things?
Yeah, that is being impressed.
No.
No.
Just
Was he
acknowledging
shocked?
you know a lot of
No,
information.
he was like, you wouldn't ask the question like, "Have you had any training before?" If you weren't impressed of how much the person knew. Otherwise, why would you ask that question?
Having
was
had
not
training
impressed.
before, then how do you know so much?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that doesn't mean impressed. We don't know whether he was impressed. He acknowledged that you know he knows a lot.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. We don't know whether he was impressed. So did he reach? Did it take him towards his goal? No, because he finally landed in the kitchen. So because did Rabbit Quell's day-to-day practices take him? He was a sincere man who read and prepared for the lectures and knew a lot, but he constantly disturbed the teachers. He irritated them. He corrected them all the time, and thus failed to, you can say, impress. In fact, impress the lecturers, and therefore did not. Uh, his day-to-day practices
his
did not
unabashed
take.
behavior resulted in
Yes,
his own
his
downfall.
unabashed behavior resulted in his own downfall.
Loss. Yes. I know the next answer. How did Private Quill manage to anger the corporal? Because he interrupted the corporal
Private,
two
yes.
times and even told
Failed to take the
him
hand.
Corrected the private. He corrected the corporal, and then he also told him
He gave
how
he
to
should
start
start the
the
lecture.
he was trying to tell the corporal how to give his own lecture.
Yes.
And on top of that, at last, he failed to take the hint that to shut up. And he said,
Yes.
this three
He
three
failed
points
to take the hint
to keep quiet.
to keep quiet.
So 3 points. He first corrected the barber and then he tried to tell him how to do his own lecture and then he failed to take a hint to keep quiet and just allow him to give the lecture.
Will you be able to write?
yes.
Will you? Won't you want to write it in the notebooks? At least for this, write 3 points.
I think we also discussed that. So, like, even though he was able to give a perfect speech, he didn't. It was the corporal was the one who had the experience. Yeah. So he just knew like everything about the grenade or whatever, but like the actual experience of using it was the corporal.
Okay.
had.
What was the answer?
So, but the corporal was unable to give the speech to the other. What do you call it? Yeah, soldiers that he wanted to give.
Yes. How did Private Welch manage to anger the corporal? Only write the 3 points, no? He disturbed him, he corrected him. Then he asked him, he told him how to start the lecture. So, corrected him on the number of segments. You can write in detail. Huh? He corrected him on the number of segments in a grenade. Then he also suggested that how he should have begun the class by teaching the characteristics of the grenade, and then failed to take the clue that he had upset the corporal and to keep quiet. This interruption
We're going to slow. We are supposed
angered
to
the
start
corporal.
MC here.
This interruption, sorry.
They're going too slow. We were supposed to start the chapter in other book.
Yeah, but she was not there, so let's finish the questions quickly. Do you think Private Welch learned a lesson when he was chosen for a cookhouse duties?
No.
No.
Because still he was exhibiting his knowledge.
Yes. No, he did not.
He was still just as arrogant and what do you call
Tried to outsource.
what's the
He
word?
tried
for
to
it?
exhibit his own knowledge about peeling the potatoes. That's right. Write it simple. Write it simple. Keep it simple. Answers.
I prefer to try to use better vocabulary in considering it's English, but and the words never come to me. Like I know so many words, but they don't come to me when I read it.
That happens. And therefore, in the exam, you should try to keep it
No,
simple.
actually, I started maintaining a vocabulary notebook, so every time I see a word that I want to remember, I just write down the word and its meaning so I can remember it.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Elaborate on any one character trait of corporal Turnbull with evidence from the text.
What is trait?
Characteristic.
What characteristic?
What?
Character trait of corporate Turnbull.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Elaborate on any one character trait.
Did he cheat on like?
What did he cheat on?
How did he cheat on this?
Quelch.
What?
How did he try to teach Quelch a lesson?
By saying that.
By sending him to the kitchen duty. By giving him kitchen duty. Rather than.
Or we can even say like.
Elaborate on any one character trait of Corporal Turnbull with evidence
I
from
think it
the
would be best to say that he was not one day master. He was a man.
Yes, he was an influential.
He was a man who knew what he was doing and who also what's the word?
He was a well experienced person. He said he had come back from the war. So he was a well experienced man. He was a very knowledgeable man, and he was not a man to be trifled with.
Yeah.
That's the word they had used. Means to mess with, to fool around with. So he was a very strict, probably he was a strict and person who knows strict, strong, sturdy, plus. So you can either tell about his physique that he was a strong and sturdy man, and the people would say that even if you put a nail in him, he would realize. Or you can say that he was a very knowledgeable person, experienced man. He knew what he was doing, and he did not enjoy people fooling around with him. When what is his name, Professor? When Private Welch tried to irritate him and constantly disturb him, he tried to teach him a lesson by sending him on to the kitchen duty. Alright, do you remember? Or you're sleepy. You didn't even have school today.
It's 5:14. We haven't even completed the question answer.
In for the reason that left the squad horrified when Turnbull asked Welch to deliver the lesson.
The squad did not know how to react when Turnbull called Welch to take the lecture.
The squad was absolutely awestruck when the professor dared to interrupt the what do you call it? Corporal.
So in further
they were stunned.
They were stunned. They were stunned.
They were stunned, which is by his what do you call it?
Audacity. So you can see that first tell about Turnbull. That Turnbull was a very influential person. He had a vast experience of Second World War, and nobody ever messed with him.
Second World War? Yeah. It's not even written.
The Dunkirk is the famous Second World War
Battle.
battle.
Oh, I didn't know it.
Second World War battle. So. So he was, so nobody trifled with him. Private Welch failed to notice that and kept asking him questions and tried to tell him how to start the lesson. And therefore, when Turnbull asked Welch to deliver the lesson, the entire squad was stunned
Astonished.
and astonished. And they
Yeah.
were also cowed, no? Cowed was then only, no?
What did it mean again? I forgot.
Coward was
Yeah, it was cowed only. Cowed, subdued.
no.
Yeah.
The squad listened in cowed, horrified kind of silence.
Yeah. So what does subdued mean again? I forgot.
Subdued is quiet. Calm, subdued. When you're
Scared.
scared and quiet, yes. Scared and you don't talk. When you're scared, you don't talk.
Stunned.
Stunned.
Yeah. Stunned.
That's
When you're scared and you don't talk, the word for that is stunned.
A person of their manner, quiet and rather depressed, maybe.
What?
A quiet, here it says subdued is sometimes depressed. I felt really
Search
subdued.
for cowed. I think it's stunned.
To submit to one's wishes by intimidation. They were all
Intimidated. They were
yeah, they
intimidated.
were intimidated. So count means okay, तुम्हें जो करना है वो हम करेंगे. You know, when you are scared, you are ready to do anything that is
Okay.
they are like count. Okay. 12th character teaches us that with hard work, one also needs to have social and emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
So you will write, Welch was a very hardworking person. He read the notes, he read the journals, prepared himself well, and tried to gather as much information and knowledge as possible. But he lacked basic social manners. He interrupted teachers. He
And he was very naive.
he humiliated his
friends.
yes, colleagues, co-workers, friends, whatever you want to say. He constantly looked down on them and tried to teach them. He constantly corrected the professors, okay, and thus he ended up irritating everyone. So he lacked basic social and emotional intelligence. He did not even realize that he had upset what is it? The corporal, that he had insulted a corporal and he should have remained quiet when he corporal asked him to come and deliver the lecture.
That's 30 times so.
Ari, but next means what? Will you be able to answer? We don't have to rush.
The time is up.
Oh, but the bell is not gone.
Because Shalini has forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Time is
fine.
up.
Even with
Let's just do the next question before it's over.
Seeking and sharing knowledge about things is perceived as a quality and not a trait that needs to be curbed. Analyze why the professor's knowledge made this quality turn sour.
the professor's constant effort to flaunt his knowledge instead of like what do you say? Instead of impressing his seniors,
That's
I
right.
didn't
he
answer the
displays
question.
them.
Seeking and sharing knowledge about things is perceived as a quality, not a trait that needs to be curbed.
Not a trait that needs to be covered.
The
You should control that.
the professor's constant effort to
Oh, it's person as a quality that
Yeah.
needs to be covered. Basically.
wait. The professor's
See, you shouldn't curb the quality. It's not that. See, seeking and sharing knowledge is a good thing. Okay? But then this good thing actually turns hard. Why?
because the professor's constant effort to flaunt his knowledge instead of impressing his seniors.
So it
he
is not
displays
a
them.
it is not a trait that needs to be covered.
And hence the professor got displeased.
Yes, because his constant desire to flaunt his knowledge ended up irritating everyone. Good job.
Curb means stop. Right?
Curb means control. Yes. Control, stop. Okay, bye.
One answer is
Do it next time.
Next time, get the other book also.
Yeah, I
He
got one
wants
book.
to do the next one.
We are supposed to do it
You
today.
have it today?
Even I have.
and I have my exams from Monday. The first or second exam is
English?
Let me do revisions today. It's surprisingly
I know.
really scary.
Really?
Yeah, it's my first exam in 9th grade. Our school started the exam.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. I can't believe that you're not asked.
What?
She every class she used to say something that she can't believe. Thank you, Siddhi.
अरे तू वेल्ले वाजवली
ते टीव्हीचं जरा काम कर
माझी 5 मिनिटं गेली ना अशीच
उस्तीनुसार थोडा